about climate change, from the global warming, and Dr. John Youth already mentioned about the relationship between the biodiversity and climate change, and typically we have a lot of talk concerned with the global warming, climate change. So now my talk, before I talk, I just let you know a little bit that it's a joint project with three organizations get the funding from the National Institute of Ecology in South Korea and Kazakhstan University representative Dr. Professor John Yu and our university, Nonglam University. We joined this project. We called it a joint research on sharing and utilizing macro forests that are from Vietnam and Thailand. Just only 1 year project. So then, if you have any questions, just ask John Yu, not me. You know, just some of my colleagues and John Yu to do that, and I'm just presenter what they have done. Let's talk today that applying the potential habitats in Vietnam under future climate change. As you yesterday I already mentioned, the director of Research Center for Climate Change. So most of our research focusing the climate scenario in Vietnam, especially focused in the southern part of Vietnam. We have done so when we combine with the Professor in Nonglam University and especially with support from the National Institute of Ecology, with Dr. John Sun. Yeah, he support not only just have the online meeting and just to guide them and our team. And today, I will talk a little bit what we already done. Actually, it's just only we try to publish one paper, but up to now not yet. Yeah, so it's just talk just one. My talk is some introduction about the overview of macro ecosystem, macro and climate change, and so some topic related. And I think that's very important. We talk with you about the methodology concerned with how to develop development and validation of the model using the IEM model. Yeah, IEM. And as we have some result, and the last one we talk conclusion. Okay, I think that I will not do here. That I'm not correct. Actually, that but my colleagues and especially Professor John Yu try to get overview of the macro ecosystem to look at this. So many, yeah. Did that about the 80 macro species worldwide adapt to the high salinity. That I will talk a little bit about, especially our project focusing in the macro forest, especially in the Cambodia National Park in Ho Chi Minh City, close with the sea. And so back on this some the power along the low and the tropical and subtropical climate and macro distribution influenced by so many jets that under the climate change. Habitat. And so okay, all of the so good look, we have all of the information from our colleagues. And the macro at the nature climate scenario, climate warriors. So the key player in the climate change mitigation, so the blue carbon equivalent carbon separations, and that are up to the 4 times more carbon storage than the tropical forest. If the well management we have that, and so we have concern with all of the become certified. Then a little bit about the global climate commission and macro. that the last presentation we have already mentioned about the Paris Agreement, and besides that the nature better solution for 1.5 individual decade to 30. And more than 80 countries, including Vietnam, in the macro in that the nationally determined contribution capital. But that recognize the concentration potential and the call for the code from the marine protection resource. And I got 27 that like the blue carbon as the key agendas. And one thing that the financing for macro restorations. And the macro, the regional, the entity, yeah, we have the role like have to investment about $4 billion with the taxes that protest 15 million hectare macro in the year 2030. And so involving the macro ecosystem in the countries and yeah, the country look at this, we have the wood get afforestation and also the deforestation. I don't get in Vietnam, especially in Kenya and the Mekong Delta, we have problem with the deforestation for agriculture and doing the farming. I also get the dam compression. Everything that like the sea that the concern with climate change, that like sea level rise and the more frequency that the second storm that we have. And impact climate change on the macro, but to manage that, we bet on it. Okay. I concern with the increasing the so many get the sea level rise and rising the temperature and concern with all of that. And that got to yeah, especially respond and all of that. Yeah. It impact climate change on the macro. We work only macro for research. And the Vietnam macro ecosystem among the world's most productive and diverse ecosystem, and the macro get by the ecosystem services like for fish or the food, medicine, to get ecosystem get, and especially for blue carbon storage and the carbon protection against storm. And if it's along with the cotton line, more rejected or not, the south and the central, and in Vietnam we divide to 4 ecological zones, like the zone 1 focusing in the northeast Vietnam, about 39, more than 39,000 hectares. The zone 2 focusing in the northern delta, especially for the Red River Delta, have about 7,000 hectares. And the zone 3, the central, the about 40,000 hectares. And zone 4, that we focus the southern Hong including the Ho Chi Minh City and some part in the Mekong Delta. Most of the more than 191,000 hectares. So that just look at the most of the macro that in the southern part of Vietnam. The challenge of the macro in Vietnam, like that 38% of macro loss or direction in the recent time. And the major factor that concern with everything that in the Vietnam were about agricultural development, so we can do that. Yeah. And the key influence factor concerned with the climate change hydro and soil condition, topography, and especially for the human pressure concern with the already mentioned it over by the aspect. Yeah. American report on Vietnam that on that the government policy that they have so many policy concerned with how to protect the macro forest. Concerned with that, they have some recent, especially the recent 162 from the Prime Minister year 2021, focusing the protection and development of the forest and respond to climate change and promotion of the green growth. With the main task, we concern with the forest protection and forest restoration that about 15,000 hectares and development about 25,000 hectares. And community and the support for the farmers who live in the control forest. And so our research did our project, we focus in try to analyze the part distribution, keep focusing two macro, focusing the first one with Argentina and Flora, and we're using the forecast the future habitat and the climate change using the the sharing sustainability pathway scenario. We're using the four scenario. Yeah. And try to get how to inform the cooperation strategy and management practice for the macro ecosystem in Vietnam. And the method that we come with the data collection. As I already mentioned, that we collect only focusing the two phases. And we're using the national forest inventory map from the Department of Forestry. And we have the data from 2013 to 2016. And so, and follow that, we have all the data that like the topography map and active from the elevation. We can with using the data set, the topography. And the soil map, we have from the using or not the data. We have soil map. Let me call the historical bioclimates. We have the long get from the 1970 to 2000, and we have about 19 variable. 19 from the bio 1 to 16 that we have. So the 19 bioclimate variable, we have the period from the 1970 to the 2000, and we using the resolution about 1 kilometer. And 19 bioclimate variable, we have bio 1, bio 2, bio 1 like that in the table right, we found all object anything. And so we have that. And later on, back on the future bio climate with the two periods, like from the 2021 to 2040 and 2041 to the 2060 with the four scenario. And so we try with that. From the 19 bioclimate variable, we're using that compared with integrate with the form and that's the scenario we apply. And the generate, we're using the DGM model under the GMBCs to have the own model using the protection the near future and the mid-January we come with that. And the bioclimate with that variable we deploy for 2021 to 2040 under the scenario adaptive scenario 1 2.6 scenario, and we have all that. Nearly yet the same that we have for yet the scenario LSP 2, 4.5, and the bio climate variable at the LSP 3, 7.0, and we have the scenario the LSP 5, 7.8 scenario. We have all really lot the same like that. Yeah. And one thing very important from this, we try to map select and from the 19 variable, the first one using the qualitative assessment perform. Try to get the video with the two criteria using for the variable exclusion. The first one we call the variant impression factor, and using this here. And the second one we're using the Friedman correlation coefficient. Using that, both of that try to reduce the variable. So we come with that. And so from that we try to remove the autocorrelation variable. We have that. And we select the theoretical environmental variable. Select integrate with the future diagram and select the future environmental variable to come with that. And after we remove autocorrelation variable, now we have just only 10 selected variable in that so we have with that only 10 using that, and so we have only 10, and we have with that. And from 10 this, we try to divide two data sets for it. The first one we have to divide to 7% for the training and 30% for testing. And we combine it with data background smart using the 1000 point to assess the data. And from that we apply to 4 algorithms. The first one is with the max cell and random forest and support pattern machines, and the last one is with the root navigation trees using 4 algorithms. And we from that we try to run using the modeling to generate the distribution. And we come with the map of the habitat suitability map of the what of the two of the species in Bangkok. This is where we're going to do. And so when we come that we had already mentioned species distribution model at the end to try to combine the information, species occurrence and environmental condition to the process the potential future distribution of the species related project habitat change. And so that I apply a little bit who friendly with at the end to the problem with that, but who haven't yet before just like it. So we divide to the 0, 1. What does it mean? It means we have the sign and 0, 1. If we have the 0, then the basically they present, and 1 then a percent, yeah. So we come with that, and we know what we mapping using that. And the same that we try to look at in the matrix. We have the two channels, and the one we try to quantify all up using the environment and the sign to look at it. And we try to put where I equals 1, 2, 10, and we come to each row in the correlation to have that. And the same that with the environment to try to merge and we can look at that only 1 and 0 to form that. And finally, we have to using at the end that we come with the map and we can try to distribute and we can using that we have the map. the way we go to do it. Yeah. And so we have the four model actually from podium. I have in random forest, yes. And to find like that the random forest, the higher AUC. AUC means the area under the curve. Yeah, and so we can with that for the word spacing, we can and try to. And another we go to Marcel and VM, VRT also that achieve the excellent performance. For example, compare with the random forest that we have with that. Using that happen tomorrow. And we try to predict the past and future distribution for the that we can all of it. Okay, now that we can from the we try to get from the map for the that we provide already mentioned physical and we did the projection 2021 to the 2040 and we have the long term projection like the 2041 to 2060 to be covered that. Yeah. And the same that we have yet the different the basic we can with that. So the key finding for this project, the first one mentioned about the high stability zone we define to get achieve the high moderate for the everything and happen under low and the mid emission scenario group object, and especially for the southern cotton region in Vietnam. And the high emission scenario, we have got the two scenarios that we can compression in optimal habitat, particularly the for the and the temperature, precipitation and soil variable as the driver during the macro distribution pattern. And we have yet we have a short harmful just only 1 year project, so we have some limitation lack of the long term monitoring data, especially data for the testing, predicting distribution under climate scenario. And some uncertainties in the climate model and limitation backway may affect the good of the habitat protection. The last one with the naked bio interaction and human intervention in the modeling project. And we have the future direction, so we can handle spatial temporal monitoring and incorporate the role for ecological knowledge to define the habitat model and integrate the social economics and policy factor into the macro restoration and management planning. Like when we develop the adapted scenario back on the conservation strategies to the recessional climate vulnerability. And that is some our different. And the last one, thank you. I invite you to be.
Thank you very much. And we don't, as a landlocked country, Mongolia doesn't have mangrove forests, but the procedures of applying species